Mel Brooks is 98 years old and officially out of reasons to hold back. So what does the comedy legend do? He drops a list. 6 actors he hated working with. Yep, hated. But not the kind of hate you're thinking. This is Mel Brooks' hate. Part complaint, part love letter, wrapped in behind-the-scenes chaos and laughter. You might recognize the names. Comedy giants, Oscar winners, even his own wife. But each of them pushed him to the edge, and in the best possible way. DeLuise. Now, you'd think laughter on a comedy set is a good thing, right? Wrong. At least not when you're Dom and you can't keep a straight face to save your life. Mel said it was like trying to shoot a scene with a ticklish toddler. He'd say, "Action," and Dom would already be wheezing. Couldn't help it. A glance from Madeline Kahn or a smirk from Harvey Korman, and Dom was gone, face in his hands, gasping for air. Once, it took 45 minutes to get a single line out because Madeline just raised an eyebrow. But here's the thing. When Dom finally got through a take, pure gold. Mel couldn't fire him. He drove the set crazy, but the end result was magic. Chaos, yes, but the kind of chaos Mel secretly loved. Gene Hackman. One scene. Young Frankenstein, that's all it took. Hackman played the blind hermit in one of the film's funniest bits. It was classic slapstick, totally ridiculous. But Hackman, he took it deadly serious. He came from drama, Oscars, grit. Mel was loose and wild, always ready to improvise. Gene was textbook precise. He wanted rehearsals. He wanted discipline. Mel called it jazz versus sheet music, different rhythms. And when takes were ruined by laughter on set, Gene didn't laugh. He gave looks, the kind that said, "Are we professionals or not?" Still, the scene turned out amazing. But they never worked together again. Too different. Mutual respect, sure, but not a creative match. Cloris Leachman. Mel said working with her was like trying to steer a Ferrari with no brakes. Pure power, zero predictability. She didn't just take direction, she questioned it. Every single note, she had her own ideas, her own angles. And Mel? He'd fight back, then give in. Then admit, yeah, she was right, again. Whether it was Frau Blucher or Nurse Diesel, Cloris brought something electric. But she also slowed everything down, turning every scene into a masterclass in character analysis. Mel said after a day filming with her, he needed a nap and a drink. But still, he kept casting her. Because as exhausting as she was, she never phoned it in. She delivered. Richard Pryor. Mel wanted Richard to star in Blazing Saddles. The role of Bart? It was written for him. But the studio didn't trust him. Too unpredictable. Too risky. They were scared he wouldn't show up. And yeah, Mel admitted. Richard was chaotic. Sometimes late, sometimes missing. But when he was on fire. Richard ended up co-writing the script instead. His voice shaped the whole film. He gave it teeth. That raw, fearless energy, that was all Richard. Mel called working with him like waiting for lightning. No control, no planning. But when it struck, it lit everything up. Mel always wondered what the movie would have been like if Richard had played Bart. It still haunts him. Anne Bancroft, his wife, his partner, his toughest co-star. When they made To Be or Not to Be, things got, let's say, intense. Anne didn't treat him like the director. She treated him like someone who needed to earn her trust every single day. She challenged every scene, every line, every bit of direction. Mel said she'd read something he wrote, turn to him with that look and just say, "Really?" And then, of course, she'd deliver it better than he ever imagined. Their on-set fights weren't mean, just passionate, honest. Mel joked that she scared him more than any studio boss, but the result? She elevated everything. Mel called her the sharpest actor he ever worked with, and the one who could break him with a single sentence. So when Mel Brooks says he hated working with these people, what he really means is, they were too good to ignore and too wild to tame. They pushed back. They ruined takes. They argued, questioned, laughed, and drove him nuts. But they also made his movies legendary. These 6 actors, Dom, Madeline, Gene, Cloris, Richard, Anne, they weren't easy. But Mel never wanted easy. He wanted brilliant. And sometimes, brilliant comes wrapped in chaos. Now I gotta ask, who surprised you the most on this list? Was it the sweet Dom DeLuise cracking up every take? Or Anne Bancroft being tougher than a studio exec? Drop your pick in the comments. And hey, if you laughed, learned something new, or just love a good behind-the-scenes meltdown, give this a like, hit subscribe, and pray you never hear Mel Brooks say, "I hate working with you." Because if you do, it might just mean you're unforgettable.